Hey guys, it's MJ, the student actuary, and we're talking CT5, Chapter 7. I'm going to be talking about gross premium, valuation basis, and reserves. And yeah, the gross premium is used to calculate the gross premium prospective reserve. And let's look at this thing known as basis. What does that mean? Okay, basis, in a sense, is a set of assumptions. And what are the assumptions we need to make when calculating reserves? Well, there's mortality, when are people going to die? Interest, what is the time value of money? Expenses, what are the external charges to the company? And bonuses, what are the additional amounts we're going to be giving to our policyholders? Now, we use different assumptions when we calculate our reserves to when we calculate our premiums. Now, the interesting thing is, when we're calculating our reserves, is it going to be realistic? And when we calculate our premiums, is it going to be cautious? Is that the right way around? Now, I'm not going to say yes and I'm not going to say no because I want you guys to start thinking about this. What type of assumptions would you want to use when doing your reserves? And what type of assumptions do you want to do when doing your premiums? I think I've confused myself because I don't actually think it is realistic for reserves and cautious for premiums. I think it is the other way around. Let's see what we've said here. We use actual premiums charged to policyholders when calculating the gross premium reserve. Okay, we recalculate the premium when calculating the net premium reserves. So, gross premium prospective reserves. And this, in a sense, again, it's very much like the net premium prospective reserves, but this time we have added in expenses and we've actually added in bonuses. But the interesting thing is that we can see here that there's no standard way to deal with bonuses. So they do require careful definition, and it's not very much a mathematical ability to determine how to do it, but it's more you have to use your judgment with the bonuses. But effectively, remember, reserves, the main formula you're looking at, the expected present value of future benefits and expenses minus the expected present value of future premiums. That's the main piece of line or knowledge that you need to take away from. And it makes sense. It's how much additional money we need to keep to satisfy our future benefits and expenses, less the premiums that we're going to be making in. Reserves can also be calculated retrospectively, and in this case what you do is the expected accumulated value of past premiums minus the expected accumulated value of past benefits and expenses. Now, if the premiums are calculated using the equivalence principle and the same set of assumptions are used for premiums and reserves, then your prospective and your retrospective reserves will be equal at all times. Okay. Now, what I've just got to end this little talk off is a quick little example, and that is we're going to be calculating the reserves. So, of a policy, it's a term assurance of 25 years to a life who's 40 years old. The sum assured is $50,000 payable at the end of the year. Initial expenses are $300. Renewal expenses are 5% of premiums, excluding the first, and termination costs are $200. And what we first do is we find the annual premium. And the premium here, it's the sum assured plus the expenses subtracted by the premium thing. I did it in one line. And then part 2 is to calculate the gross premium prospective reserves at time 10. And again, we just use our formula and it's very easy. We get our amount, and then even part 3, you can use a recursive formula to get it there. So I have rushed through all of this type of stuff, and that is, like I said in the very first video, it is kind of boring because it's basically the net premium reserve material again, just with expenses added on. So it's nothing new, it's nothing exciting, it's just an addition of a previous chapter that we've looked at. But chapter 8 does get a little bit more entertaining. So So do stick around and watch that one. Cheers, guys.